Captain.
All right, Mr. Sulu. Let's see what she's got.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the dumbest modeling channel on all of YouTube, Pitstain Hobbies. Oh boy, we're back on the second prize. Oh yeah, it's been a minute, as they say. I like that it's been a minute. They used it in Top Gun Maverick, so it's okay for me to say it still. Last time we left off, I think we were working on the next section. We glued that together. I didn't get the windows in it yet, but I wanted to get the saucer. This is my, what is it, Sodom or Gomorrah? I don't know, but this kit feels like it's bent me over and didn't even give me a kiss beforehand sometimes. Oh my God. All right. As another modeler said, oh, who was that? Something the fish.net, SteveTheFish.net, I think. It was, oh, Turd Monkeys. Oh, that was awesome. So, we've got our impulse engine lights in, finally. We've got our impulse crystal in. It looks a little less hot spotty in person, so just remember that. Like, there is a noticeable hotter spot in these impulse engines. Right where you see it, I see it, but it's different in person. But yeah, I think they look pretty decent. I also have some of that polyfill batting, the pillow stuffing I can put in there if I wanted to. But we've got that done. I think we went over the windows last time on the saucer, but I've got my officer's lounge laser fire 3D window in there. And then let's just put this over here safely on top of my little family of Pitstain Hobby stickers. If you don't know what I did here, I used, from an empty isopropyl alcohol bottle, a piece of that plastic, and I colored it in with an orange Sharpie. So when it's not lit, it's a tad red, but you really never get, no one's gonna notice, but it gives it just a tinge more orange from the red LEDs. So these are glued on top of just a spare piece of sprue that I got from the kit box. And then we've got I think I already went over that. We used the cap from one of these to go underneath our impulse crystal, and then we covered everything in a decent slathering of our favorite black light blocking shmoo, the tulip shmoo. The slick. We got that on there. Fantastic. These have been running for a while. They're burning in at 2 volts, so everything looks good. These are non-resistor lights in the Tenacontrols setup. Be very, very careful. Be more than very careful. Be more carefuler than you are probably capable of. Because if you glue these things into place and you accidentally feed them anything more than their native, forward voltage, like even 2.5, 3 volts, boom, they're done. And now they're glued in there, and it's like the body of Jimmy Hoffa. It's buried in the concrete under the foundation. Good luck getting it out. So basically what we're going to do here, dear God, is, if you can see all the different colors, they all go to different circuits on the Tena board. I've gone over that before, but all these things I need to kind of group them together and solder them together. So like all of the LED strip lights for the internal illumination, they all wire together. Then we have the nav lights, the red and the green nav lights are separate on their own, but they do have to tie in with the red and green nav lights on the bottom of the saucer. Then the white nav lights, those tie together. And then we've got our oh my God, Ian, what the hell happened to you? The RCS thruster lights, dear, just letters and numbers, and my whole job is just acronyms all day long. So RCS thrusters, we got to wire all those together so that they can light up properly when we do the function on the thing. Our phasers, I think we got those in another video previously, and you saw that. So I got to do that. I did get replacement blue, amber, bipolar. They're bipolar. The LEDs are just like me. It depends on the day of the week. I got to get one of these installed into the deflector dish housing. Instead of paper, I've upgraded to a piece of that same plastic bottle material. Might have been a different brand of plastic alcohol bottle, but this little disc of this semi. It wasn't this brand. It was. I think it was. I think it was like the supermarket brand, but their bottle was a little more cloudy white. So that's perfect. Another alternative, actually, I bought this for a different model kit, but this stuff, frosted glass. I was spraying this with flat clear. You could now just, I don't really want to experiment. This is a final production part, so don't really want to experiment with it. But if you have some plastic that's not quite cloudy enough, just hit it with some of this stuff, this frosted glass. It's way milkier than just flat clear. So I might do a little experiment with some clear plastic and just spraying some frosted glass on it and seeing how the light diffuses through it. But we already have that and this in there. So I don't think we need any more diffusion, dulling down or blurring out that light. We should be good there. So I'll be back after I get some soldering done, and I might have the bipolar LED into the deflector housing. So let's see where we go. I'll be right back. Alrighty, well, the ADHD is kicked in, and well, I feel like I need to mount the bridge to the upper saucer before I finish up all the wiring. Every noise is happening now. Oh my gosh. Okay, you really can't see it that well right now, but let me turn off the house lights. I have mounted a very simple, very cheap laser level I have a bar going across the top, obviously to hold this camera here. But what I did was I've lined up the laser level lines. I let it self-level, and I locked it in place. And I have one line going down between these two hull panels, right there. Another one going right down between those two in the back. Okay. And then I have the other one going right down the middle, and it's cutting right through the center of those, the phasers. So we know we're centered. And I want to get this thing as centered as possible and as straight as possible. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, well, I can eyeball, I can keep eyeballing, or I could just use money to solve issues that my brain might not be as good at. Try not to look into the laser beams with your eyes. But this is my solution, is I'm going to now take this, I'm going to take a little bit of, now I can't find anything on my workbench, so you're just not going to be able to see the lasers as well now. Ow! Sorry about that, everybody. Okay. And we're going to use, where the hell is it? Ah, here we go. We're going to use some of this stuff, the Gorilla Epoxy. It sets in 5 minutes, cures in about 2 hours. And I'm going to mix up a little batch of this, and I'm just gonna paint a little along the bottom edges here on the bridge, and it gives you some working time, which is nice. And then I'm going to crack open a beer. So you get all these lined up. There's 4 little things on the top of the dome here, and obviously the strobe light back there, and that's just about perfect right where it is. Yeah, right about, yep. So there we go. So we've got it centered with these. I think that's how the model makers for the movie originally intended it. So you're centering the actual dome of the bridge to these 4 coordinates, and that should be pretty darn close, I think. That's how my mind is working. So I'm going to put on some epoxy glue, and I will be right back. Okay, well, the epoxy that was left in our little mixie cup is pretty much rock hard. I used one of these little micro applicators. You can get these things. I think they're in my linked in my Amazon thing, possibly. I'm not sure. So yeah, the bridge is on there. She looks good. She's scooched forward, just the right amount. A little tiny bit of epoxy squeezed out, even though I put very little on there. I figured I want enough for it to stick, but not too much that it squeezes out. And I put a little too much. But now we've got this whole octopus squid thing down here. Jeez Louise. All right, so now that we've got everything in here, we got to flip this over. But I don't want to rest it on that bridge. A, I don't want to rest it on the bridge. B, that bridge is a Shapeways part. So I did is I took a parts box from one of my partwork models, and I took off the lid and I taped around the edges and I cut a bit of a curve in it. And we'll just put this down here and then put that on there. There we go. Nice. We have clearance for our bridge and our BC deck, and we have all the room in the world we need to work, and we have all the wires in the known flippin' universe. I do like using, and these are for sure in my Amazon stores, these BN TechGo multicolor wire assortments. Some of them are down here and here. I have them in 28 and 30 gauge, which is should be sufficient gauge. If it's not, well, F it. But yeah, that's I want to match all the wire colors to the wiring harness colors. And then when I'm done, I think I've already gone over that. I'm going to put a few hash marks. So if it's like green connector number 3, I'm going to put 3 Sharpie marker hash marks on there. Same thing for, you know, all the yellow number 2, white number 1, whatever. Most of all these red ones go to red connector number 1. So I got to start tying together all the red power leads from just about everything in this damn saucer, just kind of like I tied in the black ones. And these saucer lights are triggered by their negative going to a green wire on one of the harnesses on the Tenacontrols board. The wiring is... the diagram is very diagrammy. It's perfect. It's fine. Everything is correct on the diagram. Wrapping the human mind that is not an electrical engineer around a wiring diagram like this, that's the toughest part. This is possibly, if not, yeah, it's possibly the most difficult scale model to wire together to have all the features work in their component sections. Like anybody could wire lights into an Enterprise. You could just put it all on one circuit, have everything light up with the flip of a switch. No big deal. That would be way easier. All the positives go together, all the negatives go together. Very simple. Once you add in one of these control boards, Tenacontrols is not a plug-and-play kit. So you got to do all of this. I wanted the coolest looking, most accurate-ish looking lighting setup, which means I got to go through all this. Now I'm actually also going to, good God, I'm going to glue on the impulse engines as well, since we've already glued on the bridge. We're fully committed. And I'm going to glue on that impulse engine section also from Shapeways. So probably I'm going to whip up another little batch of 5-minute epoxy and get busy with it. All right, I will be back shortly. Alrighty, well, a few beers, a few hours later, as they say, and a Philly cheesesteak that was delicious. Yeah, we didn't put our saucer together yet. But what we did do is we finished all of the wiring on the upper saucer. It's all done. And now I've got this rainbow ponytail of goodness. Let me switch over to the other view. Here we go. Nope. Wrong view again. There we go. We've got this rainbow ponytail of goodness. I've marked all the wires just like I do with the little hash marks with a Sharpie marker. So whether it's orange harness 5 or white harness 4 or yellow harness 4, the black ones I use a white Sharpie paint pen to mark. So that way we know which harness, which pin number on which harness. Now this isn't the most beautiful thing in the world. Possibly one of the uglier ones that have been built, but everything works. I've tested every single connection one at a time, ad nauseum, wired them together, tested them again, wired them, glued them down, bundled them up, tested them again. So everything works. So what we got to do now is we've got everything zip tied right here, and we're going to, there we go, the bridge, and there's that. There's our warp engines are in. There's obviously going to be a little bit of sanding and filling, you know, after the fact with this thing, but I don't think that surprises anybody. So, oh, we got our officer's lounge in as well. Can't really see it when it's not lit up. Let me put this aside. And we're going to do the same thing down here. But first I'm going to do the laser trick with my little, laser level. I still have it mounted to my gantry above head, and we're gonna get the planetary sensor. Well, let me go grab it. Okay, where's that planetary sensor? And there you are. And might have gone a little overboard, but I've got 6 LEDs total in the planetary sensor, 3 facing forward, and then 1 in each other window direction. Wait, that doesn't seem right. Oh, I got 3 to the, is it the, no, it's the long part goes in the front. Yeah, there we go. So we've got to get this glued down. And I think I'm going to use the same centering, following these 4 lugs right here, down here, and down there, and do the same thing. So I'll be back in a few. Oh, the Shapeways curse has struck once again, and this stupid planetary sensor does not fit. Watch. Yeah, it doesn't fit. It's off by enough in enough places that you can't even fully push it down. You gotta really squeeze it down. So with 4 fingers on it, squeezing it, it just started cracking to pieces everywhere. Son of a bitch. I ripped all the LEDs out of it just because, well, I was pissed, but I also wanted to be like, well, maybe it's the LEDs, maybe they're just proud. Nope, still doesn't fit. I was very careful sticking these LEDs in there to make sure I didn't, go overboard on, oh man, these are ruined. Well, a whole bunch of white LEDs are just, whatever, they're trash. I could always rewire this little bundle. But this is the problem here. We already had a problem, and listen, I mean, the guy was nice enough on Spaceways Parts. He said he never built the model. Like, what did you test fit these on? I don't know if I don't even think he owned a copy of the model at this rate. Like, the warp engine, the impulse engines were wrong. He redid them. They fit better. Still needed a lot of massaging. This damn thing, for shit. The only reason the bridge fits is because it's a dead flat surface underneath it. I swear to Christ. Pardon my French. This is just pissing me off. All right, well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go on HDA Model Works and order their planetary sensor. We're going to chuck this in the damn trash, or maybe I'll keep it for reference purposes. I don't know. Garbage. More garbage. So if I broke a part that fit, which I did with one bridge, I had to order another bridge because I broke one. That was me manhandling it. These 3D printed parts are incredibly delicate. So let's see. You know what I am gonna do? I am just going to neaten up the wiring and tie it all together on the lower saucer, and then maybe I'll do the deflector dish, and then I'm gonna storm off in anger and order more parts. So I will be right back. Okay, well, it figures that our easier lower saucer became a huge pain in the ass because this stupid Shapeways part didn't fit right, and I could have probably made it fit better if I dry fitted it and did some very, very careful sanding on it. Probably these edges here, right here, a little bit of the time on all of these to flatten them off a little bit to allow it to, pancake down a little easier. I'm going to triple check the part from HDA Model Works when it comes in. I did priority mail. It should be here in a few days. It's like, I don't want to look at this thing for another month again. I'm trying to do at least one video a month on this because I want to finish it. It's going to be awesome when it's done. Hopefully. Either that or I'll be in a mental hospital. But our lower saucer, a lot less wiring. I just go wherever. Wherever the wires lead me, that's where I put them. It doesn't matter. You're not going to see them. I just made sure I didn't block any windows with anything. No special advice here for the most part. We did determine we're going to drill the hole here because the impulse crystal's here. And it's already a very, very tight fit. Even with our little low profile bottle cap, it is a snug fit. So we're going to drill our big hole here to go into the next section to drop all of the wiring down. And, you know, it should be fun. We'll see. But there we go. So that's where we're at now. I didn't get to the deflector dish because I honestly am so friggin' demoralized. But either way, this is the whole upper saucer's all wired up and done. As far as it is right now, as far as the wiring's concerned. So yeah, super fun. And then what we're going to do is when we join these two together, I'm going to combine all these 4 circuits with their compatriots here so that they don't have to jumble themselves into the secondary hull very much. I want to avoid a conflagration of too many wires in the secondary hull. I was considering throwing some heat shrink tubing over the wires when they go through the neck. So if you do see anything, it'd just be black and not like a rainbow spaghetti forest going through the neck of the Enterprise. That would look kind of weird, I think. But yeah, whatever. That's it for this time. I have a headache. I'm tired. I'm frustrated. It's your usual second prize build. So, Captain Schwartz signing off. Stardate, kill me. Either way, we'll be back with more. We will finish this thing someday. Thanks for watching, and I'll be seeing you next time. Adios, everybody.